All right, it's time for us to do our Kegel exercises. Why do we do them? Who cares? Well, the reason is that our pelvic floors are very important for our health. Our pelvic floors hold up the organs of the pelvis, including in women, the uterus, the vagina, the bladder, and the rectum. And so the stronger you can make your pelvic floor muscles, the better you can support them.
I like it. So then we have this patented GynoCast customized Kegel exercise. World-renowned custom.
And acclaimed, prized-winning.
We sound super fancy when we talk about it like that.
That's right.
But you've come up with this great routine that we can use to help strengthen our pelvic floor.
So easy.
Right. So you ready to start it off?
I'm ready.
Okay. 3
times a day.
6
days a week.
9
seconds per Kegel exercise.
And 12.
Kegel exercise in a row for a rep. And so you're just doing it 3 times a day. Do 12. Hold it for 9 seconds. Okay, you can do it 6 days a week and take a day off. You'll have a pelvic floor like a chain link fence, Twila Dang.
I like
You'll
it.
be able to pull a trailer. You will be the envy of your neighborhood. You will walk taller.
I'm going to go do them right now. I'd like to walk taller today. So make sure that you're doing them, and feel free to go get that infographic off of the GynoCast Facebook page and share it with your friends as well. Stay tuned.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the GynoCast. My name is Dr. Eric Heegaard. I'm a board-certified obstetrician and gynecologist. Not certifiable, but board-certified.
I'm going to let you make that joke one more time.
I'm here with Twila Dang.
Hello.
My boss, my buddy. So it's always so nice just to be in your orbit. Just kind of floating around in your orbit, Twila.
I appreciate that, but see, you keep losing the competition because you keep doing that.
What does that mean?
You're
I don't know what that means.
You're at 30 seconds and you're not on. See?
Today we're talking about masturbation. Should I just start? Okay, let me just try this. And I don't, we're not going to edit any of this, but I just want. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the GynoCast. My name is Dr. Eric Heegaard. We're talking about masturbation.
What are you doing?
Or why don't we do this? We could do. Hello, everybody. We're talking about masturbation.
Okay.
Or how about this?
We're at 57 seconds. I'm not cutting any of this. So
I know.
Just
I'm just.
now.
We're just. This is like a. I'm just trying to see how I could have done it different. Okay, let's do this. Let's just pretend. Let's just pretend we did this. Masturbation.
Yeah, that's it. Okay.
With Twila Day.
That's the part I'm going to isolate to a clip. It's just going to say masturbation with Twila Day.
Well, I thought we'd talk. Sometimes we try to lighten it up a little bit, and and we're talking and laughing about this, but this falls into actually kind of under the umbrella of a conversation that Twila and I have had for years.
Yes.
And so beyond the kind of, chuckling that you do about this, because whenever you talk about things like this, you kind of chuckle.
I feel like we should probably go back and preface that you just said we talk about it for years, but we should say within a context, like on our radio show.
Oh, yeah, on the radio. Good point. Yeah, so, for those of you who don't know, Twila and I did live radio for a while.
For a long time.
Yep. And one of the conversations we have had that this kind of falls underneath is the importance of knowing your body.
Yeah,
knowing
absolutely.
what feels good, what doesn't feel good, etc. And, and so masturbation is one of these things that obviously some people feel very uncomfortable talking about, but is important.
Yes, it is. I mean, you should know, I think you've always been excellent at pointing out that women should be, one, advocates for themselves and advocates for their health. I think this very much falls under the spectrum of being an advocate for your health. If you know what makes your body feel good, if you know what you enjoy, it makes it that much easier for you to communicate that to other people. It makes it that much easier to make decisions around your pleasure that are not dictated by another person or what you think is tied to another person.
That's right.
And it actually really does inform a sense of personal power over yourself and your circumstances.
That's right. Because I remember you. I wish I could remember the actual words that you used that I always thought were so good. And maybe you sort of touched on it again, but the idea of realizing that you don't need somebody else to.
Oh no, that's easy. I know.
Can you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
You have I think a great way of describing
It's
this.
a discussion that I have often because there are young women in particular in my life. I'm raising daughters. I have nieces.
Yeah.
And we have these conversations often about the idea that if you learn your own body, if you learn how your body works, if you learn what brings you pleasure, we oftentimes as young people, particularly when we first get into romantic relationships or sexual relationships, we tend to think that the pleasure we're experiencing is the effect of or impacted by the person, that it has nothing to do with ourselves personally, that it's the other person that you have this romantic feeling toward that's making you feel this way.
Yeah,
and then when that person, right, and then when that person starts to touch you or you're engaged in sexual activity, that you only feel that way because it's them. When in reality, your body's having a biological reaction. And if you teach yourself what those reactions are, if you teach yourself what brings you pleasure, if you teach yourself what you do and don't like and what feels good and what doesn't feel good, then when you're in these situations where you may have your judgment clouded because you're having pleasure in the heat of the moment, you actually will have enough sort of understanding of your body to know, I really like Johnny, but Johnny is not the reason why my head is spinning right now. My head is spinning right now because I know that you circle around the clitoris instead of, X, Y, or Z.
That's right.
And that way you can sort of have enough autonomy to sort of pump the brakes when you need to and go, I don't want to take this any further right now. Yeah. Or, you know what, I don't necessarily need to have that experience with you right now because I know how to have that own experience, for myself. And then you can choose later to engage in that if you want to, but it's not like the emotional and the physical aren't so sort of inextricably tied that you don't have the ability to make decisions. Because I met a lot of really wonderful young women who made those kinds of errors in high school and college and didn't really get to pursue their dreams the way they wanted because of things like unwanted pregnancies and other things. So I think you should be able to do that.
Yeah, and I think it goes back, to the idea, I think, of historically, and probably maybe not historically if you look at the overarching, kind of bend of history, but I mean in just the last few hundred years, perhaps, with the Victorian era of behavior and sexuality and romance, where women were seen as passive.
Absolutely,
there was a passivity about it.
Absolutely,
where, that, and the idea of owning your body and owning your reaction is a way of countering that passivity and being in control of your body.
Yeah, and that's power. I mean, that's the thing that we don't discuss. I mean, we don't discuss that we still live with very antiquated notions, such as, having marriage ceremonies where husbands give you away,
right?
Or where fathers give you away to your husband. Things like, right. We have a lot of antiquated notions, and particularly around sex. We have a lot of antiquated notions around what we're supposed to do, what we're not supposed to do, what we're allowed to have, to enjoy, what we're not allowed to enjoy. And taking back the power of that is a really important first step. And the most important way to access that power is to know your own body and what it can do and what it can experience.
So if you read Outlander, for example, or I haven't watched the shows.
I feel like they should be sponsoring us at this point.
They should. I mean, I just, I love that how Jamie with this, 6'3" strapping, red-haired, Norse god sort of who makes, but, he's like, I remember at some point in the book he's saying, well, to Claire.
No accents, just go.
Claire. Is, that basically he kind of thinks that women don't have any, sexual desire at all.
Right.
It's all just kind of.
And people still think that today. Yeah. I mean, they genuinely, I mean, you'd be amazed at how often, and particularly, mind you, now, most part of this conversation is going to lean very heteronormative. So it's going to be very much straight,
but
sex conversations. And we understand that. And we're not saying that, we're not saying that this is the only spectrum. We're only sort of speaking from this particular experience point. Yeah. But a lot of individuals still think that women don't really like it as much, or we societally chastise women who enjoy sex too much. We don't call men who enjoy sex, sluts and whores. We don't do that. Yeah. We call women that without even a blink, but we don't really do that to men. Yeah. Just the way that we're taught about how to engage with sex and sexual activity is very specific to what we consider social norms, around it. So, I find myself still at, a lot of the time having opinions and stating opinions. And in my group of friends, we're in our 40s and beyond. Yeah. And still some of the things that come out of my mouth on a regular basis are shocking to other people. Because they're just like, what? You can't, what? We don't, what? Why would you, women don't. And I'm like, that's actually not true. That's right. That's what we've been taught. That's what we've been told. But you actually get to dictate,
it's however, your body.
Yeah, you get to dictate what is pleasurable to you. You get to dictate what your turn-ons are. You get to decide and have open conversations about what you enjoy so that you can actually enjoy. Like, sex is meant to be enjoyed. I know far too many women, and I mean far, far too many women, who think sex is not an enjoyable activity, who think it's not supposed to be, who thinks it's just a perfunctory thing that they're supposed to do because they married.
Yeah.
And that's heartbreaking to me.
Is. So basically what you're trying to do is unleash the kraken of female sexuality.
Damn right. I say it all the time. If you ask me the question, and many people in this life tend to ask me the question, how do I know if I've ever had an orgasm? The answer is you haven't. Let's help you.
Yeah.
Let's discuss.
Well, it's interesting because, nobody really talks about, like, we don't talk about masturbation in terms of boys because everybody just assumes
they do it.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. And so it's not like people are sitting around talking about masturbation in general, but nobody ever thinks it doesn't have the same sort of need to discuss it as trying to normalize it as we do for women.
Right. Well, no one, and I mean, and you can ask this, and not that you would, but I would bet dollars to donuts that you could right now go ask 10 of your closest friends or family members if they think girls masturbate, and they will all say no, of course not.
No.
They'll just say that. They'll say, no, of course they don't. Of course they don't. And if you ask them, do boys masturbate? Oh, yeah, I got stories for you. I know all about it. Like my brother, my son, my so-and-so. Yeah, like they all got stories. And the thing is, it's really baked into that sort of jocular culture. The idea of like, yeah, boys do that. It's literally, and I know I've caught myself doing it. It's so built into the jocular culture that we buy into that it's a joke. That it becomes just like it's the same as, like, oh, husbands do this. Yeah, teenage boys do this.
Yeah.
But we don't talk about that, about girls that way. We just don't. And the notion that a girl could even be interested in that is insane to most people.
That's right. So we're going to talk about some of the benefits of masturbation, just
Indeed.
because why not?
Indeed.
And this is actually a list that was set up by a gynecologist in New York, Aditi Gupta. And she's an OBGYN and founder of Walk in GYN Care. So I kind of like that. Walk in GYN Care. It sort of makes you feel like she's kind of grabbing you by the hand and kind of taking you along. I love that. So, number 1, masturbation can help you sleep better.
True.
Tucking yourself into bed with a good orgasm can definitely help you sleep better and deeper, says Gupta.
Well, that just makes sense. I mean, okay. It makes sense if you have sex and you achieve orgasm regularly, then you know what benefit it gives to your body. If you don't know and you haven't experienced orgasms, then you're probably just thinking, what's the point?
That's right. And she says the stress relief from good sex or from masturbation can enhance sleep because it gets you into a good state. Well, that's true.
Right. Endorphins.
Yeah, exactly. Think of that feeling of zen calm that comes after getting yourself off as a post-sex lullaby. According to the National Sleep Foundation, giving yourself an O, and by that I don't mean Oprah, right?
No.
Also boosts your estrogen level, a hormone that, among other things, deepens your restorative REM sleep, REM sleep.
It's good for you.
Number 2, or numero dos.
Okay, just read it.
For our Spanish-speaking audience, and le deux.
Okay, no, we're not doing all of this.
It can help boost your libido.
Okay, just say it'll boost your libido.
Orgasm begets orgasm, meaning if you don't use it, you lose it. Right, Twila?
Well, and even more so, if you use it, you'll like it and you'll want to do it again.
Right, and you know what feels good.
Yeah, like once you figured out this is great and you can do it again, you'll do it again. It's like the first time that you tasted ice cream and you liked it. You're like, this is great. I can have ice cream. Yeah. And then you're going to want ice cream again in the future. Same thing with orgasm.
So it's and this is an interesting idea. I hear, and what she says is jump starting the engine by masturbating creates physical arousal, which in turn revs your desire. So neurons that fire together wire together.
Right. Well, and we did a previous episode with Dr. Lavalore, and she talked very specifically about not just engaging the physical body, but making sure that you continue to engage arousal and your sexual desire. So you have to have things that you have to keep sort of that stoking the engine of what turns you on to motivate you to engage in physical activity. Because you're right. If you don't use it, you lose function, you lose desire, you lose the ability to connect to it.
That's right. And she says that by by masturbating, you're strengthening those pathways in the brain, so it becomes easier to turn the system on. Now, it brings up another conversation we've had in the past, that we've talked to sex therapists before. The issue with libido is a big one for many busy women for people in general, but especially as life gets more complicated, you have kids running around, the house is dirty, and you're working all the time,
right. And men physically engage, they are aroused first by just the biology of it. Like, they think, I want to have sex, and it's like, okay, let's go have sex. Women tend to be more, I think they said it was more of a circle.
Yeah,
right.
The sexual arousal.
Right, and they have to be in the mood, and the mood is usually dictated by, am I in a good mood? Do I feel good about myself today? Did the household chores get done? Like, it's sort of a slow build to get there, and if there are obstacles in the sort of track of that, then it just doesn't happen.
That's right. And so the point is that as Dr. Lavalleur, whose expertise is in sex therapy, as well as and she did a show which you can look up, and
we'll put it in the syllabus
is about sexuality in seniors.
Because
and really, if you don't use it, you lose it, and both physically and neurologically. And because it's just important to keep those pathways going, and so that it doesn't fall off the radar.
Support for the GynoCast is provided by OBGYN West. OBGYN West provides the highest quality care from compassionate providers, including women's health issues from general sexual health to pregnancy care, childbirth, menopause, and beyond. Whether it's your teen's first annual exam, a new baby's on the way, or you're facing the special challenges of middle age, OBGYN West provides a wide array of services. Their doctors and PAs are trained in virtually every type of OBGYN service and procedure. OBGYN West provides exceptional care for women.
Masturbating is like taking a happy pill. Your solo sesh triggers an elaborate session. I guess that's sesh.
Yeah.
Your solo sesh triggers an elaborate ballet of hormonal activity in your brain. I love that kind of visualization. The process involves an intricate release of serotonin and dopamine, which is akin to the happiness state of hormone balance.
So
state of hormone balance.
So instead of trying to take like St. John's Wort or something to like boost your mood or boost your immune system, maybe go find something that you really enjoy. Like find a toy or something that you really enjoy. Explore your body a little.
Right.
Have an orgasm or two.
Yeah. She calls it the brain-vagina connection. Put simply, happy events down there lead to happy events up there in the
I
brain.
agree. I'm not arguing with you at all. I agree. I think that's
great.
great.
And you brought up the idea of sex toys or vibrators and that sort of thing. People get very anxious about that. Some people.
Yeah, some people do. That's true. It's accurate.
And you can, here in the Twin Cities, if you're living here in the Twin Cities, we have a number of great stores, the Spit and Kitten, the, Fantasy Gifts, etc. And there's many places where you can get information and you can do it online, right?
Well, here's the thing. There are so many places that you can get good information, solid quality information about sex toys. Sex toys, I think in our old estimation, it used to be like the weird, store with the neon lights that was in the sketchy part of town and behind the weird curtains. And you open at night. Like there were all these there's all these weird notions that we have of, like what it used to be. Nowadays, you can go on Google. You can, you can put in as a search term, like sex toys or women's pleasure toys or whatever, and you will get hundreds of articles, legitimate articles telling you about the benefits, breaking down products, reviewing products. The level of discretion that exists nowadays, you can even do the research yourself, pick a product you like, order it on Amazon, have it shipped right to your house. The box that shows up on your door looks exactly the same as the box that you bought your new purse out of. Nobody's gonna be the wiser. Nobody's gonna be the wiser.
That's right.
And you can actually use, things. The types of toys that are available now are completely different. I think a lot of people, when you think sex toys, immediately think vibrator or something phallically shaped like a penis. Nowadays, there are all of these different kinds of products, small enough that you can wear them around your neck like a necklace. Some that are small enough to be held by like 2 fingers, in like slightly insertable ones that can actually insert in the opening of your vagina so that it just rests against the clitoris, and you're not like having to have the nightmare of worrying about your kids finding a box with like a silicone penis in it and having to have that conversation. There's so many different types of products, so many types of different things available that can meet your sort of comfort level, not just comfort of use, but comfort of just having the product around. So don't limit yourself but with old notions of like, I just don't want to be walking around. I'm not that type of person. It's really a whole new world. And all you have to do is engage with it in the way that you're most comfortable to find a product that works for you.
That's right. And so, as you were saying, there's all this information online. There's the products online, but you can, and this is hard for people, but you can go to these different stores. And there are salespeople that are very well versed in the products and will make you comfortable in talking about things you never thought you'd be comfortable about.
Well, and I'll make a specific recommendation. Dr. Lavalore, when she did her episode, which I'm going to put in the syllabus and relink back to, actually provided us with an amazing list of products and services.
Mm-hmm.
I will make sure to share that list again, because that list had products, where you can get them, where you can learn about them, all sorts of things. In particular, where we live in the Twin Cities has a store called Smitten Kitten.
Yeah.
They have an excellent website where you can go and get educated on products, where you can go ask questions. Like they have frequently asked questions, and they are links to different articles and things about products. You can get product reviews. They can make recommendations based on, like, I'm looking for this, intimidated by this, not like this is my first, foray into this. And they have excellent resources where you can make choices and then make purchases through their site for those things, where if you're not comfortable engaging with the store or going into some place where you don't have to, but you can still get the information you need to make decisions that you want to make.
That's right. And, the thing to remember, I think we all kind of fall into this, is that sexuality and a sense of living a sensual life is not just for 20-year-olds.
No, it isn't. It's really intended for your entire life. It's intended for your entire life.
That's right. Number 4, it helps deliver oxygen to your brain. So who doesn't need oxygen to their brain?
Amen.
Amen.
All us women of a certain age that have to make choices every day between like memorizing a phone number or remembering your kid's birthday.
Yeah.
Any oxygen we can get up there, any extra oxygen you get up there, I'm all for it.
So masturbation has other brain benefits as well, says Nan Wise, Ph.D., a cognitive neuroscientist and certified sex therapist. Boy, that's a great combination of degrees and expertise. With orgasm, there's a lot of activation in many parts of the brain, which means that a lot of oxygen is getting into the brain. That's good. Generally speaking, the increased blood flow and oxygen that comes from upping your arousal or from exercise is thought to be good for your gray matter. That's good.
Yeah.
Your gray matter.
I'm all for it.
Because we have white matter and gray matter. Crucial from everything from memory to decision making. It's kind of this circulatory exercise for the brain as well as for the body, she explains. What we're doing is giving the brain a nice, natural sort of flush out. Sort of like a spa. A spa, sort of antitoxin. It's sort of like a colonic for the brain.
Okay. I mean,
I'm not sure if that's.
You don't really have to convince me to masturbate, so it's okay.
All right, well, I wasn't looking. I was just saying, does that make a colonic for the brain?
Yeah.
And sort of you're sort of.
Listen, you had me sold when you said it helps with decision making and memory. Those are two things that I struggle with every day. I have to make hundreds of decisions a day. My memory at post children has always been slightly foggier. If things like this will help strengthen that muscle and strengthen my ability to sort of streamline and make better decisions, all for it. I'll start putting on my calendar and just blocking out like, okay, from 9 to 10, I'm closing my door using email.
At night or in the morning?
At this point, either.
Before board meetings.
At this point, either. Really and truly.
Number 5. Masturbating can help relieve pain. Well, why not? Treating yourself to some below-the-belt self-love, I love the terminology, can actually help reduce pain, according to research. In one study published in the journal Cephalgia, I'm sure that's something you have next to your bedside, Cephalgia.
Sure.
Ceph meaning head, like cephalopod.
Mm-hmm.
I love this stuff. And algia, which is pain.
Huh.
So brain pain. Found that sexual activity helped ease migraine pain in 60% of patients. In one landmark study, sex researcher Beverly Whipple Where are they? There's these names are fabulous. These stage names, you think, Twila?
No, these are real names.
Beverly Whipple.
Yeah, these are real names.
And then the other one we were listening to was Nan Wise.
Yeah, these are real names.
And
Mind you, my name is Twila Dang.
Well, that's
I
true.
think these are real names.
Well, I'm just trying. It leads to a whole other conversation, which is, do names actually help you evolve into a certain thing?
Yes, I agree 1,000%. Yeah, that we can have that discussion another day. But I wasn't always Twila Dang. It was my married name. But
what was your when you were maiden, Twila?
Register.
Register.
Mm-hmm. And I would say it was a conscious decision to
register.
It was a conscious decision to take on that name, become a part of a new entity, and kind of go, okay, now I get to be fully who I said I always wanted to be. I took the name. It was just a cool name. I wasn't going to pass up the chance to have a cooler name.
That is a cool name.
But it is honestly really informed the way that I've moved through the world since I took it on. I agree with that.
You think? Well, because Twila Register, that has got some force to it in itself.
I mean, it was unusual. It was definitely different. Yeah, but it wasn't. It was different, but it wasn't necessarily as impactful as it is when I introduced myself as Twila Dang.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
But Twila Register has a very different sort of feel to it, brain feel. Let's call it brain feel or social feel than Twila Lilac.
True.
Twila, Twila. I don't know, something soft and silky like Twila Silk.
Yeah, that doesn't
that's
sound
a
like
stage
a real name.
name.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's the kind of stage name that it usually involves like feathers. So.
Next up, Twila Silk.
Exactly.
Masturbate. Okay. So Beverly Whipple.
Yeah, so back to Beverly. Sorry.
Mr. Whipple's wife, Beverly. Do you remember Mr. Whipple?
I do, but there's going to be a lot of people listening to like, what's that?
What was he?
Darn it, now I'm going to have to put Mr. Whipple in the
Mr. Whipple,
cylinder.
for those of you who are over 40 probably, Mr. Whipple, wasn't he a toilet paper guy or something? What was
it was paper towels.
Paper towels, Mr. Whipple.
See, but I'm saying there's a whole cadre of folks under 40 that are like,
who knows?
Who?
Beverly Whipple.
Yes, don't worry, I'll put him in the syllabus.
I don't think that Beverly Whipple is Mr. Whipple's partner, life partner. Found that vaginal self-stimulation can significantly increase your pain tolerance as well. When masturbation led to orgasm, it increased pain tolerance by 75%.
Wait, is this going to be the explanation for why I have such a high pain tolerance?
Yeah, right. They can operate on you without anesthesia.
I mean, I literally just broke 2 bones in my arm and I never shed a tear. So I'm going to say maybe.
Give me my vibrator.
Maybe.
Codeine, no.
I didn't take any narcotics, remember? Oh, my gosh. Yeah, okay, never mind.
Number 6, it might strengthen your pelvic muscles. I think that, without a doubt, we talk about Kegel exercises.
Yeah.
Anything that causes your pelvic muscles to contract is, it's like basically what you don't know because you're not seeing us in here, but we're in a studio here, and there's a 30-pound weight here. And I, just because, I just grabbed it and did some reps, right? Well, basically when you have an orgasm, you're basically doing some reps for your pelvic floor.
Yes, indeed.
Achieving an orgasm isn't always easy. In fact, sometimes it feels like a legit workout. Like any exercise, however, masturbating can help you build strength, specifically in your pelvic muscles, says Wise. Mm-hmm. That goes, what was her first name again? Nan Wise.
Nan Wise.
And like any muscle, when you use it, it gets stronger. The best part has shown that women with stronger pelvic floor muscles have increased desire and stronger orgasms. And, that's why we talk about doing our Kegel exercises for men and women. There's
Absolutely.
No downside to it.
Yeah, there's no downside. And you know what? We actually put together a little PDF that I love that's on the website. So if you go to matriarchdm.com and just go to, there's a link for podcast. Yeah. Just click on the GynoCast page, and we actually have it. It's actually under the blog now, too, but it's this great little, you can print it out and you can put it someplace, and it explains the 3, 6, 9, 12.
The customized GynoCast Kegel exercises.
Yeah, it's our regimen, and we use it every day.
Masturbating can relieve stress. Getting it on solo also can be majorly therapeutic. Chemicals that are released during pleasurable activities, such as genital stimulation and orgasm, chiefly oxytocin, are stress-relieving, explains Nan Wise. This has had major effects on your health beyond your anxiety level. Stress is bad for our health. It really is. It is linked to everything from heart disease, obesity, depression, and impaired immune function. Consider this excuse to schedule regular sessions with your vibrator for health reasons.
See, then I can put it on my calendar and say from 9 to 10.
That's right.
I'm closing the door. You got to leave me alone. It's prescribed.
That's right.
It's prescribed. Can you prescribe that as a doctor?
I can.
Hey!
And I've tried to. People have asked me to prescribe a lot of things. And I'm willing to write it down, whether anybody honors it.
I mean, in California, they're finally prescribing food as a, yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, there's doctors in California are now being encouraged to prescribe food for healthcare and health maintenance. Like prescribe eating these things to, like boost immunity or prescribe. Yeah. So
it's, this is, I think, part of the when I feel sometimes kind of depressed about the medical industry and where we're going, but sometimes I feel like I look at it and there's a lot of wonderful things happening as we recognize the importance of lifestyle and diet, and this is a big deal. And we and we need to get the message out as much as we need to get the message out about a new cholesterol lowering agent.
Well, and I would say if you masturbate more, you'll be less stressed.
By the way,
healthy heart.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, did you get the thing I sent you? You didn't get it, did you?
No.
I sent you because of those of you who.
Oh wait, yes, you did. Yeah, I did. You sent it to me on Facebook.
Yeah, what was it? It was like a foie gras.
Yeah, it was a vegan foie gras.
Faux gras.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Twila,
I'm a vegan.
She's a vegan.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, I did get it.
And so I'm trying to be supportive.
You are.
After like 3
what?
years
I thought it was
or whatever.
it was very sweet that you sent it. I did.
Because I just thought, wow,
sweet.
I'm
not gonna eat that, but it didn't look super appealing to me. I think it's one of those things where if you miss that as an actual thing you used to eat, then you're all for it. Yeah. I never was really into that, so I don't necessarily need to mimic that.
I love foie gras.
Yeah, but I did like the idea of it.
Fat duck liver.
Ew, that's not the thing.
All right, so get out there and masturbate, people.
I guess there's no clear way to put a point on that.
Just do it. Get to know your body. Get to know what feels good and what doesn't feel good for both men and women. That way you can communicate with your partners. And it's just it's important to know your body.
Absolutely.
Know what's normal, know what's abnormal. So because if you don't know what's normal, you're not going to know when something's abnormal.
Absolutely. And in the meantime, you should definitely sort of keep engaging with us. If you're not a part of the GynoCast Facebook page, you should be. It is a private group, but we talk about sensitive topics. We also have a very supportive environment for the members of the group. You can ask questions. You can have discussions. You can share information. And just in general, we have some great, lively, wonderfully respectful conversations in that space. Go to Facebook and type in the GynoCast and request to be a member if you aren't already. And we will approve you and let you into the group. You can also engage with us in other ways. We have a website, matriarchdm.com. We now have a nice new shiny blog where we share information.
Nice.
And we have show pages for every one of our shows. So the GynoCast has a page. It also has a media player. So you can listen to previous episodes. You can get our syllabus. You can even email the show. hello@matriarchdm.com and give us your questions, comment on what we're doing, and just let us know how you're feeling in general about everything.
That's right.
So thank you.
Join us either on Matriarch or on the GynoCast, or even better, both. It's a world of wonder. Have you ever seen or imagine in your mind a Neanderthal in a cave, right? In the dark, and the Neanderthal gets up and walks out of the dark cave into the sunshine, rubs his little protuberant forehead, and looks up and sees the sky, and that's what it's like when you join Matriarch or the GynoCast. It's like your eyes are open to the wonders of the universe.
Indeed.
Thank you for listening. Join us again. Thank you, Twila Dane. It's always wonderful to be with you, and we'll see you again soon.